everybody, it is Friday, which means it's time for another Facebook Live, except today we're Facebook not so live, because yesterday we had a snowstorm, which kind of means that we're a little bit behind and I have some catching up to do. So we're pre-recording today's Facebook Live program on making maple syrup candy. If you have any questions, feel free to comment. I will definitely respond, but we are going to make some super easy maple syrup candies today. And you really only need one cup or 2 cups of maple syrup. And be sure to use real maple syrup here, not pancake syrup, because it will not cook the same way, and a candy thermometer. And I like this candy thermometer because it has different modes and you can set the time and the temperature. You can set the temperature on it that you're looking for. In this particular case, I'm looking for around 240 degrees. So I set my thermometer to firm ball, which is 242. It beeps within 2 degrees of the temperature that I'm looking for, so it's pretty foolproof as far as that goes. So I'm gonna go ahead and turn on my gas. And then I'm gonna just adjust it so that it's not too big for the pan. And we are going to wait for our maple syrup to boil. And I do like to stir it while it's boiling, or in this process, just to make sure that I don't get any pockets of super hot spots. But this takes about 10 minutes for it to come up to a boil, and then once it boils, just a couple minutes to hit that 242 degree temperature, or 240 that we're looking for. So if you take a look at this, it's starting to foam up a little bit. If you could smell it, it smells like hot maple syrup. It's kind of awesome. We're at 213 degrees, which is just over normal boiling for water. It does take a little bit longer for the maple syrup to boil. That's why we're looking for 240, but it won't take that long now. So, one of the reasons I decided to make these is because I had been asked to do a maple class up at the Hanover store a while back, pre-COVID. And so I was trying to think of things to make, and I saw a recipe for these, and I'm like, oh, I remember eating those when I was a kid. Like, we'd go up to New Hampshire and Vermont and stop in the little gift stores and always get those little maple sugar candies. So I said that would be a really fun thing to try. But we are at a full boil now. It's starting to foam. And like I said, this thermometer will actually tell me when I hit my temperature that I'm looking for, but I'm at 224 and climbing, so not that much longer. It's important to do this in a tall pan so that you don't get boil over, although with these nice enameled burners here, they're much easier to clean than some of the other stuffs. That's kind of nice, but definitely use a tall pan when you're doing this. It makes much less of a mess. And we're at 238, and you can go anywhere between 235 and 240. So I'm gonna go ahead, and there we are, we've hit our 240. You can hear that lovely little beep. I'm gonna turn that off. And we are just gonna let this sit here and cool for the next 10 minutes. We're not gonna do anything to it. We want it to get down to about 175 degrees. So we do need to let it cool. That's gonna let the sugars tighten and the syrup thicken up a little bit, and it'll allow us to get some nice creamy candy out of it. So check back with me in about 10 minutes. All right, so we are back and we have hit 176 degrees on our thermometer. So I'm gonna go ahead and pull that out. And we're gonna just take our lovely wooden spoon and start beating the crap out of this maple syrup. And it doesn't look like much. And then all of a sudden it'll start to kind of come together. Wooden spoon really is the best tool for this. I have tried it in my mixer and it doesn't work. It puts too much air into the candy, so you don't really get the creamy texture you're looking for. But you can see that it's sort of starting to, in this case, darken up and thicken up in color. It's not as translucent as it was. And thick now, so we're going to just start pouring it into our molds. These are silicone molds. You can get them at any craft store. That might be just about it that we're going to get out of there. So we're going to let those firm up. It takes about 5, maybe 10 minutes, and then we'll turn them out and you'll get to see what they look like. All right, so these have set up and they're just about ready to unmold. I went ahead on this one and just used my offset spatula to scrape the excess off. You can do that very simply. Just give it a little scrape. Those are nice little fun pieces to snack on yourself. If you want to, you can heat up the spatula so it cuts through a little bit better and it gives you a nice even texture on the bottom. But we're just gonna go ahead and flip this over and pop these out. And you will see your nice yummy candies. And if you, like I said, if you want them to be pretty on the bottom, just warm up the bottom of your spatula. Ooh, that one didn't come out so good. And smooth them off. But they pop right out of these silicone molds very nicely. And there you go. Maple sugar candy.